When you think the work's done and you're clocking off for the day, it's not going to be that case, is it? Allegedly, talks over Garcia of Espanyol have broken down. Arsenal are beginning to explore signing Antony Gordon, and we've actually had a breakdown in talks where Neto's concerned. Definitely not Pedro Neto, the goalkeeper at Bournemouth. Now, again, as we get to the end of the transfer window, there's still a lot of unanswered questions at Arsenal Football Club. Are we going to sign a striker? Are we going to sign a winger? Are we going to sign both? Is Kivior, despite what's being said in the last 2 weeks, going to depart? Is Aaron Ramsdale going to complete his move to Southampton? What's going on with Reece Nelson? When will Nketiah's deal with Crystal Palace be announced? Obviously, do we have enough where the Premier League's concerned in our pursuit of winning that trophy, much less the Champions League? We've also had links with Raheem Sterling. And on the topic of Champions League, we've actually had the teams that we're going to play. Off the top of my head, Atalanta, Inter Milan, Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, I can't remember. I was on a road there, people. No, I get it when we're talking. I'll get it. I'll catch it back. Sporting Lisbon. And if there's anything else, you're just gonna have to forgive me. Now, if I share my screen with you guys, is it sharing? Yes, it has. Edu said, be patient, you won't be disappointed at the end. Edu, I trust you for now, but this time this time in the 24 hours, we're gonna have 13 minutes before deadline day closes. Talk about leaving it late, but you know what they say, better late than never. And if it wasn't long dragged out sagas where Merino is concerned and Calafori and what we're currently facing in terms of a race against time to sign people at this moment, we wouldn't be Arsenal. So I hope we aren't disappointed. Arsenal expressed interest in Antony Gordon as Magpie has opened new contract talks. That's where my optimism has gone. Newcastle don't want to lose a key player. Apparently, he was close to going to Liverpool once upon a time, and contract talks. And, it would have been nice to sign Guimaraes. It'd be amazing to sign Isak one day. I'm having Antony Gordon. He's English, can play on the left-hand side as well as other roles, and he's doing his thing at 23 years of age. I don't believe it. Plus, expressing interest means, in my opinion, we're just exploring if there's a deal to be done. We are at that time, I believe, where if we're going to go for Lookman, Aderinga of Brighton, Antony Gordon, you probably have to overpay and pay an inconvenience fee. But nonetheless, Arsenal have expressed an interest in Antony Gordon, but the winger is set to stay at Newcastle beyond Friday's deadline, with preliminary talks over a new contract having opened. We understand Gunner's sporting director Edu is a big admirer of the 23-year-old who features on a list of players identified as future targets, and they could make an approach next summer. Next summer is great. This is what we do. When the season finishes, we speak about how we need to sign difference makers. The Athletic can come out with articles. The window gets done. We do some good stuff and we leave a lot to be desired. Then we hear that the targets we wanted were not obtainable, which is great. But there's a lot. Football moves a lot in a week. I don't really care about next season for now. I understand it, but there you have it, people. Allegedly, Gordon is happy at Newcastle, loves working with Eddie Howe, and he's got a young family that are settled in the northeast, and improved contract talks are set to begin, which is great for him. But if we are going for him in the future, there's going to be more of a premium, really. However, there's no denying that the club's talks with Liverpool at the end of June had an unsettling impact, as the Magpies battled to avoid a breach of PSR rules and considered selling Gordon to his boyhood club. Boyhood club? I think he thought he came for Everton. Maybe he was a boyhood Liverpool fan. The Reds refused to meet Newcastle's demands, but their interest remains. What were those demands? And if Liverpool weren't going to do it, what's to say we will, people? We'll have to see. But it looks set that Antony Gordon looks set to stay at Newcastle, which is amazing stuff. It's amazing to be linked with him, but it doesn't really take us anywhere, does it? Arsenal exploring move for Bournemouth goalkeeper Neto, as is Joan Garcia talks hit impasse. Apologies, I'm moving terrible today. We've been linked with Neto in the past. Obviously, if we can't sign Garcia, we have to go elsewhere. Clearly, as we all knew, if you're not going to pay Espanyol his release clause of 30 million euros, they're not in any mood for negotiations. Nonetheless, Arsenal are exploring a move for Bournemouth goalkeeper Neto after hitting an impasse in talks over Espanyol's Garcia. Garcia, 23, had been identified by Arsenal as a goalkeeper to provide competition to number one David Raya, with any move facilitated by Aaron Ramsdale's departure from the Emirates Stadium this summer. A deal has been agreed for Ramsdale to Southampton for a fee of 25 million, and he underwent his medical today. However, Espanyol are not moving from Garcia's 30 million euro release clause, and discussions have stalled. I mean, you've left it late for them to find a replacement, so that's where you're at with it. The proposed move for Neto is expected to be a loan deal. That's great. You know, you tie up a loan deal. We've got another 12 months to find a keeper. If Neto isn't someone we see as a long-term one, who knows? Maybe with more time to negotiate, we obviously look to sign Garcia. Allegedly, Neto had been Bournemouth's first-choice goalkeeper. They were linked with Ramsdale and was named as the club's captain by former head coach Gary O'Neill in February of 2023. He made 32 appearances last season, keeping 7 clean sheets. However, he faces competition from Kepa after Bournemouth completed the signing of the 29-year-old on a season-long loan from Chelsea on Wednesday. Football's crazy. With the greatest of respect to Bournemouth, to go from Real Madrid to Bournemouth, I haven't seen that since Rafa Benitez. I'm sure Rafa Benitez went from like Real Madrid to Everton or Real Madrid to Newcastle, respectfully to Newcastle, in the space of a couple months. We all know Neto is 35, so again, that could be a short-term kind of fix. Allegedly, Arsenal hope to sign at least one goalkeeper before the summer transfer window closes on Friday. In addition to an experienced replacement for Ramsdale, they have been seeking a goalkeeper with homegrown status, which Neto wouldn't be, to join the first team. Wigan's Sam Tickle and Wolverhampton's Dan Bentley had been under consideration. Now, I don't want to read too much into it. I really only care about signing a goalkeeper and an inside forward and maybe a striker, but the Sesko thing didn't happen. Not made any progress at the time of making this vid for Dan Bentley. The move for Garcia hasn't got anywhere. How much are we really rating this window then, essentially? You know, take nothing away. Calafiori, Merino, good steps in the right direction. There's been some good outgoings. You know, it wouldn't make more sense from a sporting perspective, but, you know, one does wonder, you know, for every Eddie Nketiah deal where we praise the club, we're making a loss on Ramsdale, you know, 18 million plus an extra million if they stay up and a sell-on clause. Sheffield United are probably, you know, due a sell-on clause. And you'd imagine, not that it's the same, but that money is going to be taken and thrown on Mr. Garcia, who is 23 and has more longevity. But it looks like we're getting a loan deal. Everything that we've tried to do hasn't been done at this moment in time. We've heard Aaron Ramsdale, you know, medical has been done. Apparently he started his medical this morning and it's now almost complete and they're just waiting for official confirmation. You'd imagine within the next 24 hours, Eddie Nketiah, Aaron Ramsdale's moves are announced to Crystal Palace and Southampton, respectfully. Arsenal in talks with Chelsea over a signing, which is Raheem Sterling. Apparently we've been offered the chance to sign Sterling on a cut price deal, although signing the Chelsea winger could prove to be a complicated matter on deadline day. I mean, he's earning over 300k a week. The same goes for Kingsley Coleman. We all know we wanted Nico Williams, but I want to go on a date with Halle Berry or Kelly Rowland. How far is that going to go? So at this point, it is what it is. Allegedly, Arteta said he's encouraged by the prospect of a reunion under Raheem Sterling. He's also been linked with Manchester United. I've gone over him at great length, so check out the other videos. Once again, we've been linked with Antony Gordon. Chelsea are pushing to sell Sterling to Arsenal in order to facilitate their move for Jadon Sancho, allegedly. Our Champions League dates were obviously announced, as you could, you know, they're here, so I might as well show you there. So there you have that. And there must be a tweet about our opponents. Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Shakhtar Donetsk, Atalanta, Dynamo Zagreb, Sporting Lisbon. The last 2 times we've been to Portugal, been bad for us. AS Monaco and Girona of Spain, people. So there you have that. Should we make sure we haven't missed anything else out? Again, people, you know, I'm happy to see that we're going for Gordon. We like Isaac. We want Nico Williams. These are great. And these are players, the standard that we need. But if you don't bring them in, how far does it go? Ultimately, are we stronger or weaker going into this season? And I think it's a mixed bag. You know, the 2 signings we brought in addition to Raya, that's great. We've done okay in terms of outgoings, but the squad does appear weaker. And I don't think we've found, you know, the supplements for our squad in attacking position. So I don't know what we'd rate this window. We still have to hold some sort of hope. There's literally 24 hours or just over that. So yeah, you lot let me know your thoughts on Gordon, on Neto, on Sterling and everything else we've discussed. If you haven't had enough of listening to my voice, check out the other videos I've brought out. I've done a video on Lookman and some other transfer business, and before you know it, by the time this video is done, there'll probably be more vids. So yeah, check out the content, like, comment and subscribe. Most importantly, big up you lot self, people. It's a pleasure to be here on YouTube day in, day out with you guys, whether it's transfer market, watch alongs and all the other content. So you lot stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Like